At Tesla, if you work on manufacturing engineering, you don't just get force-fed a turd sandwich. You get to change the product design.
Hey, I'm Steven and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So in this video, I'm going through some clips from Tesla's Q2 2020 earnings call. And yes, if you missed the memo, they did post a profit. S&P inclusion is all but inevitable now. Of course, we all knew this was coming. The shorts, the internal emails. The only people that missed this, Wall Street. Fancy that. This earnings call was an absolute gold mine for Tesla investors. And to be honest, the financials, yeah, whatever, same old crap. They're getting better, their margins are improving, they're selling, like, we all know all this stuff, okay? But there was so many nuggets of gold and hints about future plans and products. And even in the way that they used this call, there's 4 or 5 separate occasions where Tesla pitched people to come to work for them. Quality engineers, actuaries for their insurance business, and also a massive shout out to nickel mining companies. So without further ado, let's have a look at what they had to say. I'll add a few comments here and there where I think it's relevant. Hey guys, before I forget, want some free stocks? Yeah, now I've got your attention. If you're in the US, UK, Australia, or New Zealand, check out the links in the description to WeBull and Stake. It also helps out the channel. Let's get back to it.
We're going to be building our next gigafactory in Texas. The location is 5 minutes from Austin International Airport and 15 minutes from downtown Austin. And it's about 2,000 acres. And we're going to make it, I think, a factory that is going to be stunning. It's right on the Colorado River. So we're actually going to have a boardwalk where there'll be a hiking, biking trail. It's going to basically be an ecological paradise. Birds in the trees, butterflies, fish in the stream, and it'll be open to the public as well, so not closed and only Tesla. So if anyone's interested in working at Gigatexas, engineering, production, whatever the case may be, please let us know. This is we're going to be doing a major factory there. We've already started work on the facility, so some initial construction work, so it's already underway. Started this weekend.
Man, there's so much to unpack here. Now, we all knew a Texas Gigafactory was coming, most likely Austin, no surprises there. But the way that this was pitched, this is the very beginning of the call. This wasn't Tesla telling analysts and Wall Street about their factory. This was Tesla trying to recruit people to come work there, down by the river, birds, trees, paradise, okay? This is Tesla screaming, anyone, anywhere, come to Texas, come work in our factory, please, we need you. And right at the end there, Elon couldn't help but mention they've already commenced construction, well, at least pre-construction activities. They're in a hurry to get this thing built.
We recently adjusted the pricing of our retrofit solar. So Tesla Solar is the lowest cost solar in the United States, and we added a lowest cost guarantee and a money back guarantee. So we're very confident that people will love our solar product, whether it's the solar retrofit or solar roof.
Now, I hate to state the obvious, but best price solar in the United States guaranteed. Pretty hard to argue with that. Don't sleep on Tesla Solar, guys. I know right now it's deceptively small. It looks like an insignificant part of their business, but the trend over time, oh boy.
And then for full self-driving, we launched traffic lights and stop signs, and we continue to improve that and make it more robust. And we're currently testing full self-driving software for intersections and city streets and narrow streets. I personally test the latest alpha build of the full self-driving software when I drive my car, and it is really, I think, profoundly better than people realize. Yeah, really profoundly better. It's like amazing. So it's almost getting to the point where I can go from my house to work with no interventions, despite going through construction and widely varying situations. So this is why I'm very confident about full self-driving functionality being complete by the end of this year, because I'm literally driving it.
Autonomous driving is unquestionably the most contentious and controversial plan in Tesla's future. However, there's a big disparity between when analysts, when Wall Street, when the finance media, when the general public think full self-driving, when autonomy will be solved, versus Elon, versus Tesla. Now, look, I'm not here to make predictions about the future, okay? I just want to ask you guys a question. Who do you think has a better understanding of when this technology will be functional and will be feature complete? The person that's using the latest build to drive to and from work every single day, or the Wall Street analyst who is an expert in understanding Ford's business and Toyota and General Motors and knows approximately fuck all about exponential trends, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and so on? I mean, hey, look, I'm just asking the question.
The next 12 to 18 months, we'll have 3 new factories in place. Things are looking great with Giga Berlin. We'll have Cybertruck, Semi, Roadster, full self-driving. There's so much to be excited about. It's really hard to kind of fit into this call, but the sheer amount of hardcore engineering, especially on the autonomy and the manufacturing engineering front, is mind-blowing.
I can understand if you don't get excited thinking about manufacturing, but as a Tesla investor, if you're paying attention, this should get you really excited. I mean, like Falcon heavy excited. If you don't get that, don't ask questions. I'll explain when you're older. Tesla is so good at finding new efficiencies and optimizing. People are missing this today. You need only look at the improvement from Gigafactory to Gigafactory. Gigafactory Shanghai cost about 1.3 billion US dollars to build, as opposed to multiple billions for their US facility. And now the Gigafactory in Texas is looking like costing around $1 billion, despite having room to produce Cybertruck and Model Y. Incredible. Not only that, the evolution from Model S and X to Model 3 and then Model Y, which is almost version 2 of the Model 3, the mega casting, the heat pump, it's just mind-blowing what's going on. It's very easy to miss this if you don't pay attention to what's really happening at the macro level. Of course, most of Wall Street is missing this. Let me tell you now, guys, Tesla's margins are marching steadily towards 40%. Now, they may not be aiming for 40% margins. It's more likely, I think, that they're aiming for around 30%, and then anything above that they'll use to cut prices and reach a wider market. But mark my words, the next version of the next product, the next factory, is going to be an improvement. They're constantly iterating and learning.
Regulatory credit revenue increased sequentially to $428 million. While difficult to forecast precisely, our best estimate of 2020 credit revenue is roughly double that of 2019.
Now, this is one of the most important points on the entire call. There's many bears out there that say Tesla can't make a profit without the regulatory credits. I don't want to be rude, but I will. These people are just morons. There's no question about it. They're dumb. Tesla is aware of regulatory credits. They know they're available. So while these brains that are steering the ship of Tesla are looking out into that landscape of opportunity and possibility, what do we do? How do we progress? How do we meet our goals? Oh, you know what? Each of these cars we make has a waste product that we don't need, that other automakers do need. We can infer by the rate that they're building new factories and then they're ramping production for EVs that there's going to be a lot of demand for these things that we don't need, these regulatory credits that we can continue to sell to other automakers for some time until they can actually ramp their production to avoid getting massive fines for not making enough zero-emission vehicles. Tesla is aware of this. They're utilizing it to their advantage. They're not reliant on it. They do the numbers. They know they've got this agreement with Fiat Chrysler. There's this, okay, cool. We can spend some of this money building the factory because we know these credits are coming. We're not reliant on them long term, but right now they're available to us. Of course, we're going to use them.
But it would be reasonable to assume that we would make a compact vehicle of some kind, you know, and probably a higher capacity passenger vehicle of some kind. You know, these are likely things at some point. I think we'll do the obvious things.
What's that? A compact? Did you say you're making a compact car, Elon? Didn't I say you were making a compact car back in January? I think I did. Wait. A larger, higher passenger? Are you inferring maybe a van might be coming as well? Didn't I talk about that in June? Yeah, now the point here, guys, is like Tesla is not dumb, and the things that are obvious to do, they will do. So I'm not a genius thinking, you know what, Tesla are probably going to make a compact car. You know what, they're probably going to make a van. Because like Tesla, I think. So in the future, if you want to get some insight into what might happen with Tesla before it's been announced, here's a pro tip. Just sit down and think. What makes sense? Do that. Because I betcha, odds are, they will.
Now, when things do become full self-driving, so what are people going to do in the car? Well, I guess they're probably going to do productivity and entertainment of some kind. You know, watch movies, play games, and do work.
I'm kind of glad Elon didn't go too deep on this one because I've got a video dropping this week on this very topic. Stay tuned.
The fundamental architecture of Model Y will be different in Berlin. It may look the same, but the internals will be quite different and fundamentally more efficient architecturally than what we've done to date.
Part of the Alien Dreadnought concept is not just automation, but minimizing the number of process steps and complexity involved in the manufacturing system, which involves really integrating design and manufacturing across from like when the raw materials enter the factory to the finished goods exit.
Yeah.
And we're learning so much through doing that.
Vertical integration is extremely important for this. But the supply chain, if you put like a GPS tracker on a molecule from when it got mined to when it was in a usable product, it would look insane. Like it would be like, wow, it went around the world like 6 times. So with vertical integration, maybe you can only go around the world once. You know, it's a huge improvement, or not even like only go half. I think if you get vertical integration alone, it could probably get you an order of magnitude improvement.
Guys, I need your help. What other CEO, what other company has ever talked about this kind of thing on an earnings call? About supply chain, about the fact that if you GPS track the molecule from being mined to final product, it'd go all the over the place, completely useless. Tesla's trying to eliminate this. They're really going down to the atoms and working their way up, trying to vertically integrate to find new efficiencies and optimize, delete parts and processes. Again, these aren't conversations I'm hearing coming from other companies. And if they're having them behind the scenes, well, they're doing a lot of talking and not a whole lot of walking, so it doesn't really matter.
And it still is a lot, the amount of inefficiencies. We want every operation to add value to the vehicle, value meaning moving the atoms closer to their final state. So we do not want any robot that just moves things.
Yes,
without adding
or a
parts.
person. In fact, it's like we want to be super respectful of people's labor. If we're asking somebody to do something, are we sure it's useful? Are we asking them to spend their time in a way that is respectful of their time? But it's like, wow, the potential for improvement is tremendous.
As a Tesla investor, science and physics nerd, I'll be honest guys, this is borderline arousing to hear from a company talking about moving atoms efficiently and not wasting any processes, any movement, and not wasting people's time doing dumb shit. Oh man, music to my ears and pantaloons.
I just want to be clear, here at Tesla, we love manufacturing. It's awesome. I really think more smart people should be working on manufacturing.
And we want more people.
Yes,
we
exactly.
can't find enough people.
We do.
If people are interested in designing new lines and trying to do things different, Tesla's got a job for you. And now we've got jobs everywhere. It's not only in California. We've got jobs in China, in Berlin, in Austin, Texas, and in California. So there's plenty of exciting places. And all these places will do original work and challenging and meaningful work.
Like if there's one thing that comes out of this call, it's like, hey, if you want to help us invent amazing new manufacturing techniques and have input into the product itself, it's not like you just get tossed the product and say, hey, make this product and it's a kind of a lousy design. If you're a manufacturer, you get to change the product design and say, hey, this product you're asking me to manufacture is dumb. And they're like, great, let's fix it. So at Tesla, if you work on manufacturing engineering, you don't just get force-fed a turd sandwich. You get to change the product design. It's super exciting, and we evolved the lines even after they're built. This rapid evolution of the production system.
Now, do you guys get the impression that Tesla is really trying to recruit some talent? And by the way, shout out to Elon, CEO of the century. What other CEO on an earnings call ever would utter the phrase at X company, you don't just get force-fed a turd sandwich? I mean, come on guys, a round of applause for Elon. He's a real person. It's nice to see.
Long-term sustainable advantage of Tesla, I think, will be manufacturing.
That right there, in my opinion, the most important point on the entire call. One more time.
Long-term sustainable advantage of Tesla, I think, will be manufacturing. Any mining companies out there, please mine more nickel. Okay. Wherever you are in the world, please mine more nickel. And don't wait for nickel to go back to some high point that you experienced some 5 years ago or whatever. Go for efficient, obviously environmentally friendly nickel mining at high volume. Tesla will give you a giant contract for a long period of time if you mine nickel efficiently and in an environmentally sensitive way.
I absolutely love the fact that Elon has not only used this opportunity on the call to aggressively recruit talent to Tesla, but also to try and hook up some supply contracts. Now, this topic comes up a lot on my Patreon Q&As. Will Tesla get into mining, won't they? Here's my thoughts. They don't want to, but they will if they have to. A much better alternative, which is what we're seeing here now, is Tesla attempting to negotiate enormous long-term, like decade-plus contracts for supply, so they don't need to do it themselves, but they know that the supply of the materials will be available. They're planning for tens of millions of vehicles per year in a decade or so, and not mucking around. And the fact that they're so desperately asking, we need nickel, really good sign. Why aren't we hearing this from Ford, GM, Volkswagen, Toyota?
This was actually very helpful for us to have a feedback loop to see what is driving insurance expense. A lot of it is just, like little fender bender, and the net fender bender, because of the way that the body collision repair is being done, cost like $15,000 or something crazy. And then we can actually adjust the design of the car and adjust how the repair is done to actually have the fundamental cost of solving that problem be less. So this has helped us unearth a whole bunch of silly things that we were doing, basically, without realizing it. So this is the problem in general with insurance. It's like, so if the insurance is like all you can eat, then the feedback loop for improvement is weak. If there's one thing I'd like to come out of this call, it's that a lot of great people want to join Tesla. That's the number one thing I'd like out of this call.
There was actually a few minutes dedicated to explaining how Tesla insurance is going to work. Kind of sounded like the script to my Tesla insurance video from a few months ago. So if you haven't seen that, check out the link in the description. This is going to be a huge, significant, disruptive product in the insurance industry in the future. Tesla has better data than anyone else. You cannot compete with that. They just need to develop that product a little bit further, and it is going to dominate.
And on the insurance front, I want to be clear, we're building a great, like a major insurance company. If you're interested in revolutionary insurance, please join Tesla. I would love to have some high-energy actuaries, especially. I have great respect for the actuarial profession. Your guys are great at math. Please join Tesla, especially if you want to change things and you're annoyed by how slow the industry is. this is the place to be. We want revolutionary actuaries. I think we can go way beyond industry margins and have the car be affordable to more and more people, and eventually, almost everyone. It is important to make the car affordable. We will not succeed in our mission if we do not make the cars affordable. Like, the thing that bugs me the most about where we are right now is that our cars are not affordable enough. We need to fix that.
I'm so glad to hear Elon emphasize this on the call. I made a video about this a week ago trying to explain to the boneheaded bears out there who think Tesla cutting prices is an indicator of no demand. Wrong! It's an indicator that they're making progress towards lowering the cost of their vehicles. Their mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. That means they need to get vehicles, batteries, and solar to everyone they possibly can. There's a price barrier. The lower the price, the more people can access the products. This is their goal. They're going to keep cutting prices. Bears are going to keep saying, oh my god, there's no demand, they cut prices again. And I'm going to keep face palming through the back of my skull. But I'm so glad to hear Elon state this explicitly on the call, because the next time some dingbat says Tesla's cutting prices, no demand, we can refer them back to the call. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I really do recommend you guys go and watch the full earnings call. It is on the channel, so check it out. It runs for about an hour. I've just cut out the best 10 minutes or so, gone through a few highlights and added some comments. But really, if you want to learn about Tesla, if you're an investor, if you're a shareholder, listen to the whole call. It's worth your time, believe me. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget your free stocks with WeBull and Stake. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can continue creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. And you can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.